Hello, my name is Amanda Matern. I am a Site Development Manager at GuideStar Clinical Trials Management. My responsibility is to bring and secure clinical trials at GuideStar sites. Today I will be discussing what is required to secure clinical trial opportunities that have been presented to your hospital. Your site has been contacted about a new clinical trial opportunity. Now what? Pharmaceutical and medical device sponsors and CROs that work on behalf of the sponsors seek out research sites with specific capabilities, geographic locations, and patient populations. If your hospital potentially fits the bill, a sponsor may contact you to learn more about your organization and to share more about the trial with you. But what goes into securing a clinical trial? The process begins at the notification of the clinical trial and continues until the trial has been awarded. There are 5 key factors that will make this process smooth and make sponsors choose to work with your hospital. They are a streamlined confidentiality document process, a careful evaluation of the study protocol, communication during the feasibility questionnaire process, an organized site qualification visit, and prompt follow-up. We will go into details for each and why they are important. First, let's talk about the CDA process. The CDA is the Confidentiality Disclosure Agreement. It may also be called a non-disclosure agreement. This document is required by the sponsor before a site will receive a protocol for a potential clinical trial opportunity. It basically states that your site will not share information in the protocol with anyone who will not be involved in the trial. Before you receive your next CDA, consider creating a checklist with site-specific language that should be included in the agreement. If you must work with your legal department, ask to have a dedicated person to ensure a timely turnaround. Once you have received a clean, agreed-upon document, route it for signatures. And then don't forget to follow up with the sponsor to receive a fully executed copy for your records. The protocol review is probably the most important step at your hospital. The protocol is the roadmap for the clinical trial. Your job is to review the protocol thoroughly before moving forward. I advise creating a form or a checklist that will prompt you to look for details within the protocol. Be sure to include a summary of the trial, the disease indication, and general purpose of the trial. You will use this to determine if the trial is feasible and worth pursuing. The inclusion-exclusion criteria outline the patients that will be enrolled in the trial and can be compared to your patient database to ensure you have a suitable population. Review the study's visit schedule. This becomes very important when determining whether your site will have the capabilities to perform the assessments and procedures required by the protocol. Devise a list of questions. Often you may require additional information or have site-specific questions. Write them down on your protocol review document. You can refer to this during the site qualification visit. Develop a plan. You won't need an actual manual of procedures at this point, but you should consider the basic logistics required to implement the protocol based on the information that has been provided. All of this is essential to understand the protocol and determine whether it's a good fit for your hospital. The sponsor will send a feasibility questionnaire to get a better understanding of your hospital's capabilities. This part of the process can be the longest. It can go on for weeks or months depending on when the sponsor plans to initiate sites and open enrollment. During this part of the pre-study phase, the sponsor will send you questions about both your hospital and the protocol. Typical site-specific questions can include: what are your lab and pharmacy capabilities? What equipment is available? What are your storage capacities? IRB questions may include the listing of the IRB of record, meeting schedules, deadlines, and timelines. The sponsor may ask questions verifying your site's patient population, making sure that it's aligned with the inclusion and exclusion criteria of the protocol. At this stage, prompt replies and follow-up correspondence are imperative. You need to stay in touch with the sponsor to demonstrate your site's interest and to stay informed about the trial. When the sponsor is satisfied with your answers on your feasibility questionnaire, you will be contacted for a pre-study or a site qualification visit. This is your time to shine. You want to show the sponsor you have the experience and the capabilities to run the protocol. For the pre-study visit, the sponsor will send a monitor who will verify the site-specific information that you have provided. Preparation and organization will ensure a smooth pre-study visit. Some ways to stay organized include: create an agenda to distribute ahead of time. Be prepared for the monitor to tour all of the facilities where study visits and procedures will occur. The agenda will also help to keep the visit on schedule. Have documents organized and ready for monitors prior to the start of the visit. Some of the documents to include are the PI and study coordinator CVs, good clinical practice certificates, lab certifications, IRB information. Bring your questions that need clarification. This demonstrates that you have studied the protocol and devised a plan to implement it. Furthermore, it gives the sponsor a glimpse of how they can expect their trial to be managed at your hospital. The process to secure a clinical trial doesn't end after the pre-study visit. You still need to get the official award letter, and follow-up is key. Typically, the pre-study visit uncovers questions both on the part of the site and the sponsor. The monitor who conducted the pre-study visit will send a follow-up letter to outline these questions. Make sure to answer your questions promptly and stay in touch with the sponsor until you have received your award letter. Next time you are working with a sponsor to secure a clinical trial at your site, remember these rules of thumb. Communication must be open and constant. This holds true for your current and potential trials. Sponsors expect speedy turnaround for correspondence and documents. Protocols are meticulous instructions and should be read thoroughly. Showing sponsors preparation in the pre-study phase should translate to a protocol compliance when the site is activated. Thank you for watching this webinar about the keys to securing a clinical trial at your hospital. As with any site-specific process, use these guidelines and adjust them to your needs. GuideStar Clinical Trials Management works with hospitals and health systems around the country to build, manage, and support clinical research programs. From helping hospitals incorporate a clinical trial strategy to actually managing the research operation through a co-sourced model, our service delivery is based on operational and financial best practices to ensure optimal results for research programs.